Well, there's no doubt about it that advancing in the NCAA tournament is very, very challenging, and we do have our biggest upset so far of the women's tournament. It is number two, Ohio State, falling to the Duke Blue Devils. And I was looking at just some of the prospects leading up to the game, and there were a number. I think that when you looked at the like the betting lines and so forth, Ohio State was predicted to win by 8 points, but it obviously did not happen that way. Cannot blame Cody McMahon. I mean, gee, many Christmas, she did everything that she could possibly do for the Buckeyes, the super sophomore, scoring 27 points. Most of her buckets coming in close, but she did have that one left elbow J that we saw. I mean, just, man, the mentality, the energy that she brings. She did a great job. It just was not quite enough, even though Ohio State did have a 16-point lead early in the game. But then they ultimately lost the game by 12. So, gosh, what went wrong for the Buckeyes? Well, when you've got a 28-point swing like that, something went wrong. And it was really in the form of one player, Reagan Richardson, who scored 28 points in this game. She was magnificent, especially after a slow start. She was able to get it together, and really Ohio State just didn't have any answers for her. Now, when you look at the Buckeye side, you say, well, the one player that you would want to be able to handle a player of this caliber is Celeste Taylor. And, of course, Taylor, who previously played for Duke. She played for Duke for 2 seasons, including last season, right? Last year, she was the ACC Defensive Player of the Year. This year, going to Ohio State, the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. So it seemed like this was the assignment that everybody was looking forward to. But unfortunately for Celeste, she got into some foul trouble and wound up fouling out of the game with some 6.5 minutes left. And so that was really tough for Ohio State to overcome. No question about it. It's obviously hard anytime that you get eliminated and your college career ends, but when your college career ends versus the team that you left behind, no doubt that, that was very tough for Celeste. That being said, I really do believe that Celeste Taylor has a bright future in the game of basketball. When you see the way that she plays defense, the speed, the anticipation, the way she uses her hands, and getting two-handed shot blocks. I saw her do this multiple times this season, blocking shots with two hands. I was thoroughly impressed with some of the things that Celeste Taylor did this season. I think that a lot of WNBA scouts were also impressed. She's got a chance to play at the next level. So in addition to Celeste Taylor, with her college career being over, we also have to say goodbye to the college basketball career of J.C. Sheldon. That is tough because she is so beloved. We're talking about a local product who was a star for Dublin Kaufman and then decided to play for Ohio State. This was her dream school, and she did such a tremendous job. And in this game, she became the 6th all-time leading scorer in program history, passing Taylor Hill, right? And if she had some more time, she perhaps would have been able to catch number 5, Amaris Alston. But Sheldon definitely made a name for herself in Buckeye Nation. And according to some of these draft prognosticators, she is looking at being a top 10 pick in the W. So she might be able to latch onto a team. We might be able to see her play this summer for a team in the W. That would be a lot of fun. Ohio State also loses another player, but this one from abroad in Rebeka Mikolashikova out of Slovakia. 5 seasons for her with Ohio State, and the way that she developed over her time with the Buckeyes. Man, I think that she also has a chance of playing in the W. Wouldn't that be something to have 3 Buckeyes playing in the WNBA? That would be something. And I think that Rebeka Mikolashikova has done everything that she possibly could do to put herself in a position. Not sure where she might get drafted, but she could wind up in training camp and getting picked up just based on what she could do. So we shall see. So now we look at, okay, who's coming back? Well, it starts with Coty McMahon. Yeah, again, the 27 points that she scored in this game, she is just on the rise. She will be a junior this upcoming season. And I think that she's going to be a part of a short list of players going for National Player of the Year. Coty McMahon is truly that special. You also get Taylor Theory. She'll be a senior this upcoming season, the star out of Cleveland. And I think that combination of McMahon and Theory is going to be fantastic in the front court for the Buckeyes. What an athlete Theory is. And she's someone who may be unselfish to a fault. But with some players graduating, they're going to need perhaps more offense from her, as she is capable of providing it. We could have Ricky Harris returning for a 5th season. That would be great, right? She loves playing basketball. She loves being a Buckeye. I could see that happening, her returning for a 5th season to play for Ohio State. Madison Green. She could play another season for the Buckeyes as well. That'd be her 5th season. And she's had a number of injury challenges, as we know. But this season she got to play for the most part. And, yeah, there's that left knee. She has a huge brace over that knee. But, yeah, maybe this upcoming season could be her best as a collegiate. She was certainly special during her Pickerington days and won a state championship with Central. So, yeah, you know what Madison Green is all about. Yes, we do. At the point guard position, though, maybe she's not the starting point guard because, yes, you lose J.C. Sheldon, but then you bring in the top high school point guard prospect in the nation. Again, that's what I'm reading. When you look at Jelani Cambridge. And wow, she picked the Buckeyes when she could have basically gone anywhere. South Carolina was interested, and she passed up that to play for Dawn Staley. Who has led South Carolina to 2 national championships. This year's team is undefeated. They're favored to win the whole thing. And, of course, Dawn Staley, that was her position when she played in college for Virginia and then later in the pros in the WNBA and for the U.S. national team for the Olympic Games, the point guard. But, yeah, Jelani passed that up. She also passed up the opportunity to play for LSU. Right, and for Coach Kim Mulkey, who's won 4 national championships. As we know, only 2 coaches in women's college basketball have more. Pat Summitt with 8 for Tennessee, Gino Auriemma with 11 for UConn. Yeah. So she's going to be a Buckeye. But it does help that her sister already is a Buckeye, Kennedy Cambridge. She sat out this season, but we're expecting both Kennedy Cambridge and Jelani Cambridge to play this upcoming season. Wouldn't that be special? Yeah. And then with Rebecca Mikalashikova going, you need someone to step in that front court position. Probably going to be Faith Carson. She'll be a sophomore next year. Didn't get much playing time this season, but I think she's got to be ready to go. So tough loss for Ohio State, but a lot of reason to be optimistic for Buckeye Nation. And one more thing, you think about, with Kevin McGuff and moving forward, obviously, with this tough loss. What if J.C. Sheldon decides to return to the Buckeyes next season to be on the coaching staff? It's possible. A number of WNBA players of late have decided to do this. And one that clearly comes to mind in the Big Ten, a very prominent one, in Kahleah Copper, the great star of the Chicago Sky. She was the WNBA Finals MVP when the Sky won the championship in 2021. She's with her alma mater of Rutgers on that coaching staff. How about Sheldon maybe returning to the Buckeyes to help out there? I tell you, just before we wrap up, J.C. Sheldon, she could wind up having a really long pro career, we shall see. But whenever her playing career ends, I look at her as being a coach, right? She was a tremendous leader for Ohio State. I think she's going to be a leader as a player in the W. And I think she could be a great coach moving forward at some point. Just a thought.